LA, we have a problem a-brewing, and it's not getting the new media attention that it deserves.
Right.
The Earth has cracked open. Now, we haven't fallen off into the ocean yet, but methane is leaking out at an incredible rate. Now, if you don't believe that this is a big problem, we want to show you both a picture and a video. So anyway, it's become a major problem. We want to show you the extent of the problem in this video, which has been supposedly sped up about, I think it was 60 times. This one might be lower than that. But you're seeing with some infrared filters, the leaking of this methane coming out of deep within a pipeline where they've been drilling. And the company that is responsible for this says that currently they can't actually stop the methane from leaking out because it's so deep down in. Normally they would flood the pipe with some sort of liquid or something to congeal and like block it, but it's so far down that they can't actually do it. And so they're building a relief well, but it isn't ready yet. And in the meantime, this is a very serious problem.
Right.
I mean, you're seeing there, it looks like, okay, some methane is coming out. It looks like a smokestack. No, it's way worse than that.
Right.
So far, over 150 million pounds of methane have been released by the leak, which connects to an enormous underground containment system. 150 million pounds of a gas. That's a lot of gas to make 150 million pounds of anything.
Right.
If 150 million pounds of marshmallows had leaked out of a pipe, that would be awesome, but also an issue for the people living in that area.
Right.
Now, right now, the gas is leaking out at a rate of about 110,000 pounds per hour. So it's been going on for a long time. It might be going on for months more. 110,000 pounds of this gas per hour, possibly for months. It's led to the evacuation of 1,700 homes so far, and this is extremely dangerous for a number of different reasons. While methane is not naturally toxic, if it there's too much of it in a small area, it can dilute the amount of oxygen, which can cause people to actually suffocate.
Right.
And also, if there's enough of it, it can actually combust. And so we've seen news reports that they've blocked planes from flying through the region because there's a possibility that the engines would have ignited a massive cloud of methane and created almost literal hell on Earth.
Right, and so we've heard about methane before, obviously when we're talking about cows, when they're in, dairy situations, when they're releasing all of this methane through their farts, and it's a huge, huge problem for global warming and just the pollution in general in that area. And so obviously this is not from a natural source like a cow or something like that, but it's still causing a huge problem with the amount of methane that's being released into this town.
Yeah, now methane is obviously, it's being mined because it's used for a lot of different things. Various forms of energy from like powering your home, in some ways cars, up to rocket fuel even. It's valuable and it's less dangerous in some ways than some other things like oil and coal and things like that. But in terms of its effect on the climate, it's actually incredibly dangerous. Right. Methane is 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide when it comes to climate change impact. And about 1/4 of the anthropogenic global warming we've experienced so far is due to methane emissions, according to the EDF. Now, we talk obviously about other sorts of pollutants generally, carbon dioxide and things like that, because there's a lot of different sources for it and they're potentially more easily controlled. But methane is a huge problem. And I actually saw a map of the LA region, and there's just methane leaks all over the place that they've detected. Now, they're not big like this, obviously, and this needs to be stopped soon, but we have a major problem with methane that people don't think about. I mean, it's hard to get them to even care about carbon dioxide emissions, let alone methane.
Yeah, I wanna kind of hone in on that because I think there's a few problems with this story because I think, one, this methane leak started in October. It's the end of December. Why are we just seeing stories about it now?
There's been a few for a week or two, basically.
Yeah, but
not
we
enough.
haven't seen it on the level that I think it deserves. And the other thing is, like, all the articles are like, how the Porter Ranch leak affects you. We have a huge emission of methane that's affecting the entire Earth, and and all these families are being displaced, and we're gonna be like, how it might impact yourself, you selfish piece of.
But that's how you get people to pay attention.
Which is so sad. It makes me so angry at humanity.
You didn't care about climate change until you found out that it might kill Nutella.
Exactly.
So
no, I mean it's absurd. It's totally absurd. Then you're like, oh, how the killing of millions of animals in this weird rainforest might affect what you eat. Like it's just crazy.
It might lead to a sequel to Fern Gully finally. Did they already have a sequel?
I don't know.
I'll have to look that up. Fern Gully, the animated
Sorry,
film.
I didn't know what Fern Gully is.
I can't believe you don't know what Ferngully is. Okay, we're gonna show it to you later. Actually, let's pause this video.
How not watching Ferngully might affect you.
Now, there's another layer to this. Yes. Beyond just the idea that it's crazy that these companies can pollute in this fashion and generally not pay very much at all.
Nope.
But anyway, Sempra is the company. Now, Sempra has an employee that might be relevant in this case, and it's Governor of California Brown's sister, Kathleen Brown, who's on their board of directors. She joined just a couple of years ago, reportedly receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash and equity. Oh, it's great to be connected. She also holds $400,000 in stock, and last year received almost $200,000 salary. Now, Governor Brown previously had said one of the best things that California's been doing to fight climate change is controlling methane emissions. You might want to take a look at this leak and do something about it. But no, tons of time is passing by, and they're apparently just going to be allowed to let months pass until finally that well gets there, and maybe that controls the leak. And in the meantime, hundreds of millions, potentially more pounds of methane is going to be leaked into the atmosphere, wreaking havoc on Porter Ranch, California, and the world at large.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Anyway, spread this story around, please, because it's the only way people are going to start to understand how big of a problem this is for California and how other similar methane leaks in other parts of the world are wreaking havoc on our climate. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next video.